Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to an energy wave translation for the week of May 26th. What do I mean by that? Welcome. My name is Anka, and I work with these cosmic energy themes, let's say, and I help integrate that into a very specific bandwidth of frequencies. And so I get to feel that, perceive that as a wave. And so every week I sit down with myself, I draw some cards, I write some inspirations down, some downloads, whatever come to me for the week ahead. And so last week I had a really hard time putting an edge. That's why I think I even titled it. It's, maybe it's for 2 weeks, maybe it's not just for one. Well, as I'm sitting here again a week later, it's definitely a much larger, it's like a vortex, it's like a whirlwind. And last week, we were really invited to come into the center, the eye of the storm, come into our stillness, because within that stillness, we get to ground that energy and we could perceive the vortex as less. Well, today, the first card, and I was so happy to see this card, is the Nine of Cups. Look how beautiful it is. With all the graduation parties going on right now, all the seniors, ending that cycle of the schooling, I really felt this was also for me, and for all of us in this wave, because I want to I want to celebrate my graduation as well. That's how it felt when that pressure cooker finally released. I wanted to put my hands up, and I did. I was so on fire, right? Because that energy was so explosive. The oppression. It wasn't like hard. It was just pressure. I don't know how else to say it, right? But it wasn't dark. But once that let go, it was exactly this energy, right? Like, let's celebrate and fly into the sky. So if you're not quite here yet, give it another couple days. And I hope you'll get to hear sooner than later. But that this was Saturday for me, right? And there's a chest with riches, right? Because you're coming into your abundance, the abundance of it's a well, I don't want to say necessarily worked for, because it's almost like it's almost for your enduring the endurance that you showed with this integration coming into your body. If you were able to endure that, automatically the universe is going to reward you, right? The reward, because it's cups, is first and at a very satisfactory level. It is in your heart, and you can see the sun. It is in the heart space, right? So we are being filled with this satisfaction that is at a very deep spiritual level. It's like a thirst that has been quenched, and it's a gratitude. Once we step into this energy, you can't do anything else but be so grateful, right, for yourself and everybody else, right? Okay, the real work starts, of course, with the next card. So I'm super anal about how my cards go in the deck. They all have to be upright, and I'm very careful how I shuffle them and things like that. So that's how I know this is a collective reading, because this card came upside down. I very rarely, I think it flipped. Anyway, so obviously the focus with this card is in its reversed version. and it's already the hangman, right? So with the hangman energy, it tells us, maybe I'm going to back up, because the core message that Spirit wants me to relay, and for me too, are these three things: reassurance, confirmation, and action. And this card is such a reassurance message, especially for the analytical person, the person that needs things to be linear, organized. They need to know where they're going. Are you sitting down? That person is obsolete. That energy is obsolete. That consciousness is gone. See, we have been trained to seek out this vibration, this idea of certainty. And from a spiritual standpoint, we have we have upgraded to a way different CPU. Certainty was the era of the past where we were working with these efficiencies and processes and growth, and a lot of our jobs are truly in this space of predictive analysis, right? Everything that we're doing at our job is, how can I make it better? How can I make it more effective, more efficient? What can I look for in case something happens? I'm prepared and I can get back on and continue my job, right? What are the modes of failure of things? The predictive analysis software that is now out there is incredible, right? But a lot of our jobs, our training, our predisposition as our normal is, how are we prepared? And how do we remove the dangers, right? Or the things that have the tendency to break down, things like that. So that type of consciousness at a higher level, well, not to mention that it's based in fear. That goes without saying, but let's just say it anyway. That's definitely based in fear. And now that has been transcended because we have arrived, right? The celebration is here. The goods have been received, the codes, the upgraded CPU, and not just the CPU. All of us have leveled up to such an extent that we are not that person anymore, where this certainty is within our body. And but of course, that information is at a very spiritual level. And so that is being translated, is being unfolded, integrated into the other aspects of ourselves, our mental, emotional, and physical body. And by physical, not even our body, but our environment, this space, time, the room in which we move about. And when we move about, we take with us the wholeness of ourselves. We reverberate in the rooms, in the space, in time that we are moving about. And so that reverberation starts to have tangible effects. And for all of us, who, me included, this one, have a hard time with certainty. Like, how do I know where I'm going if I don't have a goal in front of me? Things like that. We are truly being invited to step into the now, the new upgrade, the new consciousness. The power is in the now. And Spirit is all about effectiveness and efficiency. I truly believe, actually, that I find that to be my job. I'm about how can we, my passion, right? My passion, my focus is how do we increase the rate of absorption, this acceleration of integration? How do we do that? Because I don't think it's hocus pocus. There are mechanisms, and right now the mechanisms are being installed. They have been downloaded, and they're literally being installed, and we're dealing with that installation in our perception, mental, emotional, and our this environment and the body. And this is all about that. So this one is saying, please move from this uncertainty, predictability, into the now, and be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Actually, that is your reassurance that you're truly moving in the right direction, because you're truly uncomfortable. And this uncomfortableness comes from the familiarity of the body, right? And the mental and the emotional body. We have created such an efficiency about being familiar, being at ease with certainty, right? So a lot of our action and our desires, our motivations stem from this desire to bring in certainty into our environment. And now that energy was just unplugged. It's like, nope. Naturally, you are at a level of safety. You no longer need to put that attention, that action, your power in that element. Safety is already here as a given. And I need you to operate from the now, right? That's what the universe has been working on pretty much since April 8th, the solar eclipse. And our bodies, mental, emotional, and physical, because they've been so conditioned to that desire for certainty, that once that was unplugged, it doesn't know how to do without that. And so we don't know how to operate in a level of safety that is given. We don't know how to operate in things are given. Can you just calibrate your being to that, not your doing so much, right? You're not achieving the being through doing. You are calibrating to being, and then from that, the emanation into action stems. And our bodies are freaking out. So if you've experienced a heightened state of anxiety or just this restlessness, kind of like a static, like you can't find your frequency, this card is saying you can't see the clarity yet, right? Like you're trying, like the sun is in the head, but it's saying you need to find a new point of perception. You're moving in a new environment of space-time, from memory, from conditioning, from old desires, from old expectations, and it doesn't work. Find, even physically, do you need to put yourself upside down to see a new level of perception? Do you need to find a new point of balance? Maybe you need to practice tree pose, right? But be in a curious mode and experiment with this new center of gravity. Maybe that has shifted for you, and you're not even noticing that these things that you were doing before, right? Your habits and even your spiritual practices, they might also need to be recalibrated to you, to this new level of you. And you're not seeing that. You're still forcing upon yourself, well, this worked in the past. Yeah, that might have worked last week. But as of this week, it's not doing the trick because you have shifted so much. And so the next one, and the clarity, I think that's the other very clear thing. We just have moved out of I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of like a vortex, right? But I feel it's almost like the fog for most of us is still there. And trying to see clearly where this new path is, it's kind of impossible. So to me, the invitation here is to not try to immediately see it. It's more like feel it, right? Because the sun in all three cards, and but we have the sun present in all these cards. So to me is you might have to feel your way through. You can't quite articulate and write down what it is that the new you, your goal, your desires. So let the energy settle. Find the stability point within you first, then move into trying to see things clearly. But follow that the passion, the heat, the joy. That's to me the sun. But this is very clear as well. And this is the action part of it, because to me, this calls for ceremony. To me, this lady in white deliberately came to this water with her bowl, and it looks like something is burning, right? So to me, it reminds me of writing down all the weight, the energetic weight that you think or you thought, right, subconsciously that is still of use to you. But for the past week, you shifted so hard that it's now dead weight. It doesn't do anything, it's just baggage. And so look at your identity, right? Especially for me, that this was hard. Being somebody with a title that is acceptable in society, something that is, held in high regard. For me, that was a big thing. Okay, write it on a piece of paper. You can burn that. You can also do a flower ceremony if you have petals or even dried rose petals. You take that petal, you hold it into your heart with whatever it is. You're allowing yourself to feel that emotion, to feel the idea, stay with it, embed it in that rose petal. And then you can bury, once you have all the petals, you just sit there one by one. What is the other weight? What's the other idea that you're hanging on? And especially these are ideas about ourselves, ideas about our environment. Those are core things, right? This is what we're talking about. We're talking about something so fundamental, so at the core, at the base of our being. And so when those things are allowed to be fluid, they can be, yeah, they can be transformed. So whatever ceremony it is, if you're burning stuff, go ahead, burn things. But if you have a river by your house, that would be an awesome thing to do. You can just allow those petals after the ceremony, you put them on the water and watch them float away. If not, you can bury them into the ground and allow the earth to transform that energy, right? If not, fire is great. But here she is. That action of the ceremony, why the action is important, it's because it's a further translation. You're taking your emotional and mental energetic weight, blockages, limitations, stuff that still holds you down. And through the action of the ceremony, you are transferring that into the material, and you're further moving that integration along. So you're accelerating yourself, and then you're just walking away, right? I'm walking away from this into my sun, right? My sun is my power, my authority, my authenticity, my life, my environment, the true me being free to move around in me. So the hugeness with this reading right here is that it shows me that us as a wave, we are we are so ready to to create this new environment. And it might be kind of slow, or it feels like it might be a slower integration. So we've been in this energy and it feels forever. And I just want to have another reassurance and confirmation here. We're laying down the fabric of a new reality as a collective. This bandwidth, this wave, we are creating a new reality perception, and it's not individual work that we're doing. So, as you can imagine, through space and time, that interweaving of a new level of desire, the new morality, right? We want to be collaborating. We want us all to be well, because if you're not well, then that's going to affect me. So that change in thinking, the change in purpose, our purpose now, it is so interconnected. I can't even say what's purpose for yourself. Well, it's not even for me. Everything is interwoven so hard. And it is so inspiring to see this energy, to see the action in the energy. And so that's all what I have for today. And it's amazing. It's massive. It's beautiful. Thank you. I will be having more live energetic transmissions, translations, but it's more energy work and breath work and whatever. I don't even know, whatever comes through. But check out my website for those events, and they are all going to be donation based. I'm not going to, you set the price. And so have a beautiful week. I hope you are empowered with this energy. And I'll see you next time. I'm sending love and strength. Thank you.